after. So someone actually wanted to ask me what type of hair gel that I use, and my usual go-to is this, Axe Spiked Up. This stuff is very strong, has a nice hold on my hair, it's like concrete. After the first half hour, an hour it's been in, it will not move. This stuff is amazing. But the problem I have is where I'm at now, it doesn't always have this in stock, so I needed a replacement, which is where this comes in. Got to be glue. This stuff is not as strong as this, but it serves its purpose just as well. It's a little bit weaker on the hold, which is good to me because that means when I take it out, it doesn't hurt nearly as much. So for those who are looking to do the nice Superman swirl, these are both good options for anyone who likes to do their hair. For my male viewers out there, for my females, unless you cut your hair to, right about, neck length, right about back here, I would not recommend this for you guys at all. So yeah. So what if you guys like my new jersey? Yeah, that's nice and pretty. Yes, I got a Team Orbit jersey because my buddy helps run the organization. He's one of my best friends, so I figure, you know what, yeah, I'll buy and support my buddy. Why not? That's what I do. I support people. It's a nice looking jersey. They also have, I think, black ones and a different variation of blue, but I like the white. So yes, that is me. Booyah. So what's up, guys? So one of the questions I get kind of regularly now is, what's just life like in the military, in the Air Force in general? So before I get into this topic, I want to say this right away. Do not take everything I say as gospel. Please don't do that. Again, all the videos I make are just to give you an idea of what to expect when you enlist, when you go to MEPS, when you go to basic, when you go to tech school, whatever. These videos are to give you an idea of what to hopefully expect in the future. So when you go there and your experience isn't exactly like mine, I want you to think, well, Erman Martin said this, he lied to me. Don't do that. I don't go out of my way to lie to any of you guys. I speak off my experience and my experiences alone, and that's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. So when I talk about these topics, just please take into account that it's just things that happen to me and things that will only realistically apply to me individually, but can apply to in the future. So I'm gonna go down a list of everything, like what's living like what do you really do on your off time? What's pay getting like? How's housing? Things of that nature. So I'm gonna go over that right now. So number one. What is living's like? So what do you really do when you're not working? So when you're not working, you're gonna go to your first base after you graduate tech school, and you're just unless you're married or anything like that, you're going to probably get put into a dorm just like me. So you're gonna be living in a dorm as a single airman. If you're married, you'll come to your first base, do some in-pro, and then take your 10 days of leave to go house hunting. That's probably what you usually end up doing. And then in that time frame when you're just in processing, you'll be on base in like temporary housing, like a hotel or something like that. So in the meantime, you'll be living in a dorm room much like this. You're probably gonna have a bathroom, a closet, a bed, and some entertainment for whatever. All dorms are a little bit different. There's other dorms in this base where you have your own room. The only thing you share is a bathroom. Other rooms are different. Notice I have my own bathroom. Whatever. So that's a bit different. So expect that, or you can live off base. Now, only if you're married. As an A1C, you cannot move off base on your own unless housing is that cramped. In some areas it is. You'll get there, live in the dorm for 6 months, and they'll boot you right back out. So, again, it depends on where you go, depends on the manning, depends on your field, all these different kind of things. I am planning on staying in the dorms as long as I can because it's a great way to save money. So there's that. When you're not working, what do you do? So realistically, I'd like to think that everyone out there who after work is gonna go do PT, right? Right? Well, I'm just joking. I really hope you do take your PT seriously. Don't think just because you graduate BMT and then you graduate tech school, you're not gonna do PT anymore. You will. PT failures are a huge problem. If you fail them, there is some bad things happening to you, my friend. I promise. So take that seriously. But when you're not working, what are you really supposed to do? It's your time. So you're not always going to be at work, hopefully. You're not always going to be, you can still be a person. That's why I make these videos. That's why I game. That's why I do whatever it is that Erman Martin does, right? I'm not always at work. But when I am at work, I got, you got a, game face on and hair gel. That happened. Anyways, so yeah. You're gonna be living off base. If you move off base, you can probably do it as an A1C, but realistically, the soonest expected is a senior airman. That makes a bit more sense, but if you come as an any rank married, then you're probably gonna move off base. If your spouse moves with you, if she does not or he does not, then you'll still be living on base. If they move with you, then you can live off base. So how does that work? How do you pay for it? Because military pay doesn't pay that much. That is accurate. So you'll get something called BAH, base allowance for housing, and that is derived from the area and what the average housing in that area costs. So you'll be allotted so much money to pay for a certain area, and it derives by rank. The higher rank you are, the more you get. The lower rank you are, the lower you get. It's pretty easy to say. I kind of expect to, I would hope that a lot of you that are my single folks out there, much like myself, and single I mean not married. I'm not counting engaged, I'm not counting a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I am counting you are not married. So, you're not working, this is where you expect to be living. Don't fall. Don't fall. What's pay like, especially in BMT? At BMT, you're gonna get a little, I forget what they call it, like express cards almost, where your first paycheck is fast forwarded onto this card so you can buy things at basic. Which means your next paycheck's not gonna come because it got forwarded. So if you play the BMT game right and don't buy a bunch of unnecessary crap, you can walk away with about $1,000, if not a little bit more, depending on if you came in as an E3, E1, E2, whatever. And also, if you join in as an E3, you'll be getting paid as an E3 in basic. Not all E1. You'll be, if you join in guaranteed E1, that's what you are. E2, E3, same thing. So what other things we really need to expect? So obviously, when you get up there in rank and you have more responsibilities, there's more things you're going to have to do and devote more time to your work. As a junior airman, I am responsible for literally one thing. Me. That's it. It's a pretty nice life being a single airman living in the dorms. You aren't responsible for literally anything but your job. So it's a pretty nice life, you know. I know everyone wants to make rank and be a sergeant or go commission. And take your time, guys. I know everyone wants to imagine themselves, you know, big, strong, large ribbon rack, a lot of stripes. Take your time. Enjoy having no responsibilities besides just showing up for work and doing your job. It's a nice life, realistically. That's why I'm in no rush to put on senior airman. I am in no rush to make staff. Mainly because it's a lot of responsibility that I personally don't feel ready for, and I don't want to be in charge of people when I don't feel like I can even take care of myself. So take that into account when you join. I know everyone wants to have, you know, have master when only being on for 5 years, or be a tech or be a staff, and they want to be known as sergeant, your last name. But please take into account the time and experience you need to be effective at that job, because once you make staff, you are now responsible for you, some troops, you're a supervisor now, you have a lot more responsibilities, a lot more things to do. Not saying you gotta sacrifice your life, but you kind of sacrifice some more of your time. Not everyone likes to do that. A lot of people like me love their free time. I don't like sacrificing my free time. I just don't do it. So realistically, I am a lover of my free time. I'm in no rush to put on senior airman. It's not really that much of a pay bump for me, and I am now in no rush to put on staff. I will hopefully make it my first time testing, because then I won't be out for a year or more out. But it's whether I'm making my first time or not, and I'm not gonna cry over it. I'm just not. So what are the things in this military life like? So a lot of the other common things is just like, are you getting like yelled at a lot? Are you getting, you know, disciplined a lot? It depends heavily on your field, how your life is going to coordinate itself, if that makes any kind of sense. So, you know, there's a difference between SecFo and admin. There's a difference between PJs and maintenance. It's a, you know, you live like you work, almost, if that makes any kind of sense. So you're going to live with people who are hopefully like you in that same field, who share similar things about it, passionate about their job, and you're going to live like you work. So admin people probably have an easier way of PT. When you're a PJ, you probably PT out the ass because, well, you're a PJ. So that's kind of what to expect. I'm not working 12-hour shifts, not right now. Some days, you know, things happen, you have to stay there later, things happen. Never expect life to be easy, but don't expect it to be super damn hard like I did, because I went in surprisingly shocked when I realized I'm not working a terrible job. I actually like what I do. And people keep asking me what I do, and I don't answer because it's a security and personal thing. I don't do anything that amazing, guys. I really don't. I have a desk job, alright? I literally don't do anything really important at all. The only reason I don't be that specific is because, or about my base as well, is because of the fact that you can't deny that the world is crazy and the enemy people are always looking for weaknesses in their adversaries. If you want to be naive and think people don't do that, they do. And that is why I'm never that personal with you guys or that general with you guys, because it's a security thing on my end to make sure I'm safe, I'm taken care of, and I'm still helping you guys. So kind of having the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? So what's other things in life? Are you going to have to sacrifice all your time, this and the other? No, not really. I mean, like I said, unless you want to put on all that rank and all that responsibility really quick, it's what you make of it. Trust me, it's really not that bad of a life. you know, you make decent enough money to be able to afford decent things. Don't go out buying a Corvette your first as an E1. Please don't do that. And the reason I say it is because people do it. Alright, I'm not just saying this because it doesn't happen. It happens, I promise. But you make decent money to hopefully afford certain things. And also, that's another thing, don't take on a million expenses at once just because you're making some money now. Don't do that, because people do that too. It's a great way to get yourself in a lot of trouble. If you want to think the government doesn't want your money, well, they do. Because they want to make sure you're being responsible. Not because they don't trust you, but because they kind of have to not trust you. They want to make sure, because if you're having financial problems, if you're having you're a drinker, you have financial problems, you're not stable at home, we can't trust you to do your job. That's why we pay attention. It's not because we feel like you can't be trusted, but because we kind of have no other choices. I mean Big Daddy Air Force. I don't mean me, Mr. Two Stripes. I don't mean me. I ain't got authority over anything. I barely have control over my own life, let alone anyone else. So when I make these videos and I talk to you guys about these things, about life to expect in the Air Force, overall, it's a decent life. I like it, I enjoy it, because I'm stupid and I drink the blue Kool-Aid a lot, and rightfully I do, but I enjoy it because I'm a firm believer in embracing the suck. I enlisted to do a job, I enlisted to do things that wouldn't guarantee a decent life of quality, because it's what I wanted to do for the experience. That's why I am literally trying to let my leadership know I want to deploy as soon as I can. It's why I do these things. So overall, when people are like, what is just life like? Housing wise, it's not that bad. Don't go buying a freaking condo. Just live within your means. Pay, it's pretty decent. Work, and depending on your job, that's highly, highly debatable. I work right now 8 to 4 with the lunch break. Not a bad life. And yeah, that's basically it, because those are the main aspects that kind of trickle down to other things like, can you drive a decent car? Depends on your rank, depends on how well you finance yourself. Can you live decently? Depends on where you are living in your BH, depends on how much you're willing to spend. Again, be reasonable with yourself. And a bunch of other things, like can you, what's PT like? Do you PT every single day? Again, depending on your job. If you're at a desk job like me, you don't PT every day, but you still PT. People have this belief that after BMT, oh, we don't PT anymore. Yes, you do, and you will. And please don't get lazy, just don't do it. And that's basically it. You know, as long as you are good at what you do and you manage yourself well, you'll have a good life in the military. Because as long as we can trust you to do your job and do it well, you should be fine, right? Right? It's actually pretty cut dry and black and white. It's not that hard. For all of you guys that want to know constantly what life is like, it's pretty damn nice as long as you live within your means. So it really, it's what you make of it. If you're apparently crazy and stupid like me, you love it. If you get yourself in a bunch of financial holes or a bunch of other problems, you hate it because you can't handle yourself. If you're someone who just can't accept authority, you're going to really, really hate it. So, you know, deal with it. Alright guys, that was the video for this week. Also, this is going up, obviously if you're watching this right now, it's going up after Christmas. I like to think that on the holidays, around this time frame, people are not on YouTube watching YouTube videos. Even though I spent my holidays probably staring at a wall. Pretty interesting wall. So, hope you guys had a great Christmas, and depending on when I put this up, a great New Year's. And I will see you guys next week. If you guys have any questions or any video ideas, please let me know. Leave them in the comments. And yeah, that was this video, and I will see you all next week. Bye.